Let's get her going here, ladies and gentlemen. Start me off. Half a bit here. $100 go. $100. $125. Quarter bit. How about a $150? $150 to $175. $175 here. Two. There it is. Two. Two and a quarter. $225. Quarter bit. How about a $250? $250 bit up front here. $275 to $300. $300 bit. Three and a quarter. $325. One more time at $325. How about a $350? There's a $350. How about a $375? $400 in the back. How about four and a quarter? Last call. Bid at $400. Up and all through. Going once, twice. Sold. You bought it. $400. Whew. I don't know. It looked fun. Dear Tim and Moby, can you tell us about the elements of art? Thanks, Ms. DeMaio's class. Hi, guys. The elements of art are sort of like ingredients in a recipe. Just like a cook preparing a meal, artists use different elements to create their pieces. In visual art, the kind of art you appreciate with your eyes, we usually talk about 7 elements. Those are line, shape, form, color, value, space, and texture. That goes for the greats whose artwork hangs in museums, and for you when you're doodling in your notebook. Everyone's working with the same basic elements. Learning about them will help you understand how to look at art and how to express yourself as an artist too. Well, take line. Line can run in all different directions, be thick or thin, straight or curvy, smooth or rough, or even implied. Check out Japanese printmaker Katsushika Hokusai's take on Mount Fuji. The curvy lines of the clouds draw your eyes over to the mountain, and the jagged lines of snow move your gaze from the mountain's peak on down. Graphic artist Leopoldo Mendez uses lines differently in this urban construction scene. It's an etching. A design is carved into a metal plate, which is then inked and pressed onto a surface. The lines of the street and buildings are rigid and structured, whereas the lines of the natural objects, the people, sky, the water, are free-form and flowy. And the varied thicknesses and darkness of the lines creates shading and texture. Yes, that's another type of line. Okay, color. We all know what that is. This color wheel shows the relationship between, you guessed it, different colors. These are the primary colors, which can be mixed to create the other colors. And this half is the warm colors, while this half is the cool colors. In this Marc Chagall painting of a French carnival, the warm and cool colors create contrast. The pops of red and yellow against the blue night sky, while the greens and blues in the background evoke a calm, dreamy quality. Color also plays a key role in this Faith Ringgold quilt, showing a dance in her native Harlem. The primary colors and tie-dyed border give it a fun party energy. Next up is value, how light or dark a color is. Adding white to a color creates a tint, while adding black creates a shade. Dutch painter Johannes Vermeer used tinting and shading to create lighting that's almost photographic. See how realistic the sunlight looks here? That's all from mixing in different amounts of black and white paint. Check out this one by Canadian painter Matthew Wong. The different shades of blue create depth, growing darker as we move back into the distance. Value also colors the sunrise. The sky is a tint of yellow, and the sun is an even lighter tint. Dude. Yeah, texture is another element, but that doesn't mean you can reach out and touch the art with your grubby little fingers. Anyway, we think of texture as how something feels. That's tactile texture. But in art, texture is often implied, meaning it looks like it feels a certain way. You can see an extreme version in this statue by Italian sculptor Giovanni Strazza. That veil looks all soft and gauzy, but it's actually made of cold, hard marble. I know. Okay, moving on to shape. Shapes can be geometric, like squares and triangles, or organic, the kind of free-form blobs you'd find in nature. This piece by Russian painter Vasily Kandinsky features mostly geometric shapes. It's abstract, but the shapes evoke real images. See, 2 sailboats approaching a storm cloud. This is a Chinese ink wash painting, which involves dipping a brush in ink and then water. The artist, Li Cheng, uses organic shapes to create a natural landscape. Rolling peaks and twisty trees give the scene a soft, lush feel. Right, onto form, which is the three-dimensional space that a piece takes up. Obviously, it's a big part of sculpture, like in this one by Belgian-Nigerian artist Yinka Shonibare. The form is big and billowy. It looks like it's really getting blown around by the wind. Form can also be implied in 2D art through illusion. Like, this looks like it's a pair of sculptures, but it's a painting by Belgian painter Jan van Eyck. It's a style called trompe-l'oeil, meaning fools the eye. Last but not least, the element of space, or the placement of things. It also refers to depth, how far back things go. In this Andrew Wyeth painting, the house seems so far away, which conveys a sense of isolation. The woman is way up in the foreground, while the house is in the background. Together, they make up the positive space, the subject of the piece, while the huge open field is the negative space, the area surrounding the subject. I really love this one. Look at all the other elements it uses too. The orange and yellow colors of the field and the thin overlapping lines implying a grassy texture. The value of pale to dark pink conveying the light and shadow on the woman's dress. And the organic shapes of the woman in contrast to the geometric shapes of the house. Okay, come on. Let's see how much this one goes for.
Here we have Christina's World, a mid-century masterpiece by American painter Andrew Wyeth.
Anyway, next time you check out a piece of art, think about how the artist used the different elements and what effect it had on the final work. And when you make art, consider how you'll use the elements to convey your ideas.
At $8 million, 8.25 now, at 8.25 and 8.5 million. 8.5 to you, Priscilla. And 9 million, I see 9 million. And 2 could take it at 9.5. At 9.5 million. Pausing. Last chance. 10 million, anyone? Sold for $10 million to the gentleman with the pointy hair. Congratulations. That Wyeth will look great in your drawing room.
What now? Hey, Dad, do I still have that savings bond from Grandma?